1995, Oregon, a hiker is said to have gone missing in the wilderness, leading to the belief that a virus is spreading from the wildlife. A hunter named Grady Lovell and his son Blake are out in the woods and go up to a hunting blind, where Grady spots a creature running through the area through his sniper lens. He fails to shoot it down. Grady's strict and harsh parenting also cause a strain between him and Blake, as seen when he is aggressively radioing for help and makes Blake uncomfortable. 30 years later, Blake is married to Charlotte, and they have a daughter, Ginger, while living in San Francisco. Blake and Ginger are out in the city when Ginger jumps in front of a strange man who makes an aggressive comment toward her. Although Blake fends him off, he also responds angrily towards Ginger, causing her to cry until he apologizes for his outburst. At night over dinner, Blake tells Charlotte that he has gotten a death certificate officially confirming that Grady is deceased. Blake fails to show an interest when Charlotte is talking about her own job. The next day, Blake visits Charlotte at her job to tell her that he feels their marriage is failing, and they also feel they haven't properly connected with Ginger. Blake suggests that they go to his father's farm since he has received the keys to the place so that they can stay for the weekend and bond as a family. The Lovells set off on their road trip to Oregon. When they make it to the woods, they find that the road seems to end. They see a man in the hunting blind where Blake used to go with his father. The man comes down and reveals himself to be Derek, a local who knew Grady and remembers Blake. He joins the family to help them get their way back towards the farm. As night falls, Blake drives until a creature on two legs runs them off the road, causing their truck to go down a hill and get caught in some trees. Derek falls out of the truck and is injured. Blake helps Charlotte and Ginger get their way out of the truck. The creature breaks through the window and scratches Blake's arm before dragging Derek away to his death. Blake gets out and helps Charlotte and Ginger locate the house and run towards it. Blake hides his family in the house and goes to turn on the generator. Charlotte tends to Blake's wound and sees that the cut on his arm is huge and bloody. After she wraps it up, Blake begins to see his teeth falling out. He sweats a lot and also finds himself sensitive to noises, as he can hear things like a spider crawling on the walls, as well as the creature lurking outside. Blake goes by the door and gets his foot caught as the creature tries grabbing him through the doggy door. Charlotte manages to fend the creature off by hitting its arm with a hammer. Charlotte tries to take care of Blake, but he is starting to experience distorted vision and is no longer able to understand Charlotte or Ginger when they talk to him. He is also barely able to communicate to Charlotte and scribbles out that he feels he is dying. The wound on his arm fails to heal, and as it gets more infected, Blake suddenly frightens Charlotte by lunging back ferociously before gnawing and slurping at the wound like a feral animal. Charlotte finds an abandoned truck outside and gets Blake and Ginger inside. His teeth look sharper and his eyes look darker and more soulless. She tries to fix what is under the hood before trying to start it. As she wipes the windshield, the Wolfman appears and smashes through the windshield, breaking off the stick and forcing the family to run. They make it to the top of a greenhouse, where the Wolfman stalks them. As he tries to tear through the place, Blake manages to get Charlotte and Ginger away to safety before he goes after the Wolfman himself. Charlotte and Ginger make it back into the house, where Blake returns looking even more mutated. He has lost most of the hair on his head and has grown fur on his body. He also pukes up a severed finger belonging to the Wolfman. Ginger tries to get through to her father, but he is unable to understand her and instead frightens his daughter. The Wolfman then bursts through the door and attacks Blake, but to fight it out in the living room until Blake rips out the Wolfman's throat and feeds on him. Blake then sees the tattoo on the Wolfman's arm, recognizing him as Grady. Blake retreats, and Charlotte is able to figure it out herself before explaining it to Ginger as Blake's father passing a sickness onto him. Blake has now fully become a Wolfman himself and is no longer able to control his animalistic urges. Charlotte takes Ginger out of the house and runs into a barn to hide while Blake pursues them. He breaks inside, and even though it's dark, he is able to use night vision to spot Charlotte and Ginger hiding. He steps on a bear trap that Charlotte put down, giving her and Ginger another chance to run. Blake chews his foot off and continues to go after them. Charlotte takes Ginger up to the hunting blind with a rifle she picked up. Blake climbs up there, but when Ginger sees him, she tells Charlotte that he just wants this to end. Charlotte points the rifle at him, but is unable to shoot until Blake lunges toward her, and she fires. Charlotte and Ginger climb down and stay by Blake's side as he dies. The film ends with Charlotte and Ginger walking hand in hand to look out into the valley where Blake's father had taken him.